here to talk about safety. You know, where to start? Safety. So, let's see. Houses. Let's talk about it here. I know you're talking about alarms and cameras. Did anybody have like alarms, cameras?
Yeah.
Both.
And timers.
Timers, yes.
Like timers.
Yes. So when it comes to break-ins, house break-ins versus car break-ins, or versus robberies, versus, you know, there's certain crimes that you can never stop a crime from happening if somebody was determined to do so, but we can help to prevent it. And so with house break-ins, you know, if you get a TV, I'm just going to start from the outside in. If you get a TV, say you get a TV, a big TV, what do you do with the box?
Cut it up.
Cut it up. Cut it up. Don't keep it. Well,
I keep it to put it back in just in case I have to. Yeah.
okay. What in school, right?
I don't put it out because I don't want to put it out. And I
Don't put it
advertise
out.
that,
Chop it up. If you're going to throw it away, cut it up and put it into the recycle bin. Don't put it out there because now everybody knows they're like.
And you see that so much,
Yes.
don't you?
Really see that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curved.
Yeah, and that's and sure enough, you know, a week later they get their house broken into because they've advertised that they just bought a 70-inch TV. So cut it up. So that's from the outside in. Now going up to the house, you know, a lot of people, you have to do what makes you feel comfortable. Do what makes you feel comfortable. You know, so we've had a question like, well, you know, what about cameras? What about, you know, keeping the lights on at nighttime, or, you know, turning them off at nighttime? And I'll say it's all about what makes you comfortable. If your alarm goes off, if they can't reach you, well then they'll call us. And dispatch it comes out to priority 3 call, which means dispatch has 10 minutes to dispatch it to us. So once we get dispatched, well, if the call is on one side of my division and I'm on the other side of my division, it could take me another 20 minutes to get there. So we're talking about a 35 minute delay. You know, they're all good systems. It's all deterrent. There's a deterrent system. You have a pretty sign in front of your yard.
That's all you need, that sign. That's basically it, because things are in and out in less than 5 minutes.
Yes.
That's it.
Everything, I mean, it's all deterrent. You know, because once again, even with the sign, we've had people who, you know, see the sign, kick the sign over, kick their front door over. But it's all the deterrents. But if that's what makes you feel comfortable, then that's great. Because, you know, some people, a lot of people, that's old school. You know, that's what they're comfortable with. You know, so that's fine. You know, now we moved in time and we have a ring and 1,000 other ones. Now with those, you're in control. So you pretty much bypass the middleman, which is the alarm company, and you become the alarm company. So you notify us when, you know, we did it all the time. We had it yesterday, you know, like I see somebody at my back door and they call us and they call 911. It's called a check the welfare. So we'll go and you pretty much just bypass. You know, ring, you have ring. No, you have ring. And that's great. You know, we love ring. We've actually been able to solve a lot of cases with ring. Because when they ring that doorbell, you know, or they break a threshold, it turns on the camera. I mean, they don't have to ring the doorbell.
Right, they get them right upon
It automatically alerts and it turns on that camera. So we actually had a guy breaking into apartments, and they put, actually, it was pretty, I didn't even think about this, but they took the Ring doorbell and put it on their people. And so and they actually released it to the news. That was just how we
What did they do?
They put the Ring doorbell on the people.
Oh, the people. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, he rings the doorbell and it turns on because he didn't trust that, but you can see he's holding the crowbar.
Oh my God.
Holding the crowbar. So even and you've seen the video clear as day. So we were able to actually catch them. So those are fantastic.
So my husband's right and I'm wrong?
What?
What I wanted to do, my husband, listen, he choked George Washington. I mean, he's really very cheap. I I wanted the whole thing. I wanted the whole system, you know, the whole shebang. And he's like, no, all we need is rain. That's all we need, you know, is rain, so.
Listen, like I said, it is what makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
If I have 3 cameras on my house, one on the front door, the back door, and then up on the side. We have an alarm system, but I have a German Shepherd, and she makes me feel comfortable because I leave the window open for, like the blinds open for a reason. And I want whoever to come to see her sitting there in the window. She would be really good in that front window.
Her bark. Not her bite, but her bark.
Yeah, like, no, yeah, she has a great, you know, she rang that doorbell, you would think, I mean, we ordered like pizza or something, and the people are like way back here. But the reason why, I'll tell you the reason why I actually got a dog, and it's because I used to work third shift, and somebody on Saturday came to ring the doorbell. And I thought maybe, you know, like on Saturday, like Jehovah's Witnesses come by and, or somebody's selling something, so I didn't get up. I'm like, you know, because usually they ring like twice and then they leave. Well, this person kept ringing like ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I'm like, and so I get up and you have that window by the front door, and I see somebody looking in. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm like, and then he gets on the phone and he says, he's like, yeah, man, he's like, nobody's here at this house. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. And so I get up real quick and I take my gun down, and when I go by and he had his hands kind of behind his back, and you know, I'm like, you know, I yelled at the door, you know, let me see your hands, and he puts his hands up the door. I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, he said he came in here to see Joe, and I'm like, there's no Joe that lives here. I was like, there's never been a Joe that lives here, and he was like, I was like, I think it's time for you to leave. And so when he left, he had backed his car all the way into the driveway, and the trunk already popped. When you have people actually come to, you know, ring is easy because you can actually answer through the program. If somebody does come to your door and they're ringing the doorbell, you don't have to open the door. I would recommend if you don't know who they are, don't open the door. But his partner was actually 2 doors down and doing the same thing. And here's what's funny about him is that he went to a former South Carolina football player linebacker's house, and then he chased him down the street. So they picked 2 wrong houses in the neighborhood. So, but if somebody comes to the door, you don't have, like I said, you don't answer. You don't have to answer. You know, I recommend not answering if you don't know, but let them know that you're there. So say something. Say, you know, may I help you? You know, because a lot of people when they break into houses, like they don't want to be seen. You know. When they break into houses during the day, they break into cars at night, because those are the times where people are asleep at night, people are at work, you know, the majority of people are at work during the day. So say something, say, may I help you, you know, what do you need, you know, little things, just let them know that somebody is in the house. Because we've had people actually kick in doors while people are in the house, and they didn't say anything, and we get those 911 calls where, you know, they're behind their conversations, you know, and so we have to rush in there to get to them, and you know, before they discover that they're in the house. You know, we had kids, we tell the same thing to kids, so tell your kids the same thing. Grandkids is, you know, we have a 12-year-old girl who was in the house when they kicked in the door. You know, just tell them to make some type of noise, turn the light on, you know, anything. So that's another thing. But yeah, but the alarms are that basically everything is about what you feel comfortable with. You know, at nighttime we had a lady who said, well, should I turn my lights on or turn my lights off? Now, I turn mine on, but here's the problem with that is your home becomes a fishbowl at nighttime. So during the daytime, when people look at the house through the windows, they can't see in because of that reflection. At nighttime, when you turn the lights on, well, they can see in and you can't see out. So, you know, one lady said, well, I like to turn them off because I can see out. And that's fine, you know, that's fine. That's what makes you feel comfortable. I like to turn them in, I like to turn them on because I want to see what's out there. Now, granted, you're right. I couldn't see if somebody was standing, you know, behind a bush or somebody standing, you know, somewhere, looking into the house, because of that glare, it can only go so far. You know, your lights, eventually you're gonna outrun your lights. So lights, you can only see so far, but they can see inside the house. And that's why you make sure you keep your blinds closed. You can see everybody's TVs, you can see, you know, everybody's alarm systems, where they're at, you know, their games, everything. So keep your blinds closed at nighttime, because like I said, they can see in, you can't see out. When it comes to safety, yeah, I know you said, you know, if you were doing some of the things on the check.
Well, yeah, like I said, I have timers. I don't like to come into a dark house, and when I'm away, you know, lights come on at different times, and so people don't really know if I'm home or not.
Yep, I use those. I had those too. And I did the same thing. So I had, you know, I had this one room I just didn't use. I literally bought a lamp and set it on the ground, and so it would turn on at like 9:22, and then but it'll go off at like 9:25. So it looked like somebody came in and turned it off.
That's great.
So I did, you know, that's good. And then of course now those, you know, like just like alarm systems, everything evolves, and now we have smart lights. And you can do that now, you know, from your phone with the Philips little smart lights, and you can turn on lights, turn off lights. Those are pretty good. They're inexpensive as well, unless you want the colored one. They're like $100. But I think the light bulb and stuff. I need to look. I keep saying I want to look into those myself, because my sister has some of them, and they're really cool. Because her husband, you know, just turns on, like when she was in Atlanta. And when we were driving up, he just turned the porch lights on.
Mm-hmm.
So those, you can look into those as well. You know, that's another thing that maybe, you know, will make you feel a little bit comfortable with your husband.
Let me tell you what I did do. We have solar lights all over my home. So if you come and turn my block, I put the solar spotlights on the home. So as soon as it gets dark, my house is kind of lit up.
Motion lights. Motion lights are good, because once again, nobody wants to be seen. So when they're creeping around and that light pops on, now it kind of puts them once again in the problem solving. Like, did somebody see us? You know, I remember on third shift, you know, we would get an alarm call, and I'm supposed to be there. You know, I'm looking at, you know, make sure nobody broke into your house, and the motion light would come on. I'm like, you know, and I'm supposed to be. So can you imagine what it feels like someone who's not supposed to be there? So motion lights are good. Does anybody else have anything that?
Well, me being from Chicago, everybody there has 2 doors. You go to answer the door, you already got access to me. So the first thing I did was I went and had a security door. And sure enough, me and one other neighbor had the same doors. And everybody else, before my neighborhood got built out, and there were no houses across the street for people to look, everybody got broken into except for me and this other person with the 2 doors, because they would keep the door open, and it's so easy for that door to open up. I have 2 doors on the front, 2 doors on the back. The screen security door, because the latch goes up into the door jamb.
But my grandparents had the same kind of doors. So I know exactly what kind of door you're talking
So you're
about.
not talking about the heavy metal doors with the...
No, it looks like a glass. It looks like it's made of glass, but it's that tempered glass.
So it doesn't break.
And
It breaks, but it might not shatter.
right.
The doors that we have are probably on everybody's house right now is just a suggestion. You know, it's like a suggestion, not because when they kick the door in, you're right, what it does, even if that lock is thrown, they just kick through the door frame. So when they kick the door in, when you go in, you'll see the actual frame, you know, 15 feet away from the door. So embracing the frame and actually building the door to lock into the frame is the best way to actually secure a door. That's a whole nother,
Yes.
that's money.
I also saw on YouTube where just keeping what you have now, but I think the screws are like 2 inches.
Yeah.
You want a 4-inch.
If you want to get it into the frame of the house,
That really helps to, reinforce it. So
you want to get it into
that's all you did.
into the frame of the house, like the studs.
Yeah.
Anything you ever want to know about security is online.
Yeah.
Anything you ever think about and you want to buy is online. A lot of people are like, well, what about, what about lights? We get a lot of questions, what about lights that light up along walkways and whatnot? I'm like, well, hold on. And like, here it is right here. So, look, anything you have a question, you think I wonder if this is, what can I do to light up here? Or what kind of light can I buy for right here? What kind of door lock? What kind of door jam? Look it up. It's all here now.
Quick question, what do you feel, how do you feel about arming yourself?
Arming?
Yeah.
That's once again, that is a personal preference. And of course, there's a lot of people out there who are armed. It's a personal preference, though. Once again, that is, just like pepper spray or just like that, you have to know your tool. You have to know it because we get into a lot of incidents where, and unfortunately a lot of women will get guns and never go to the range. They'll never shoot it. They'll never, and then when it comes down to it, a lot of people end up get killed by their own gun because they get into that tunnel vision and they'll bring it out and they're like, they've never ever pulled the trigger before. So, it's fine. It's a personal preference. But inside and out, know how to unload it, know how to, I went to a range the other day, and actually, just because you're a female, and, I wasn't dressed, I just dressed normal, and, all the range guys were standing behind me, and so when I started shooting, they were like, I see them out of the corner of my eye kind of back away, and then when I finished, they're like, oh, yeah, you know what you're doing, huh? I was like, I didn't tell my police officer, I was like, yeah, I shot a couple times. But that's one of those things. Know your tool because that it gets real thin, and if you don't know how to use it, somebody else probably will and take it from you. A lot of guns that are taken from the victims and used on them. So, but I'm not against it. Just know. I say before I became a police officer, I never carried a gun. I just didn't. Matter of fact, I never even owned a gun. And now I own one.
I used to be in the military and I was security police.
Okay.
So I took the class here, and not only do you do have to be familiar with it, with your weapon, but you got to be familiar with the laws.
If they're running out, then you have a way to close the door and to secure yourself, then you're not in danger.
Like you said, your mind gets so shrunk because you're in that tone. You just wanting to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Rehearse, like knowing your weapon, knowing your plan.
Thank you for that, Officer Brooks. This is just a great conversation. I do have just 2 more questions. One, what have you seen in your experience when it's a home break-in? Are they breaking in through the door, or is it normally through the window? Is there anything that's more consistent?
No.
Okay.
It's whatever is convenient. I mean, we get a lot of back doors. The houses that face the woods. That clearly they don't want to be seen.